Can you buy a house without a mortgage company? Can you do this? Is it possible? Well, I'm here to talk to you about owner carry. So that's basically when you would purchase the home directly from the seller rather than going through a mortgage company or a real estate agent. And so this is something that is, thought of as a weird thing to do, but these are some basics. We tried this out, and so you'll see at the end of this video whether or not it worked for us or if we failed. Can you buy a house this way? Is it possible? And, we were wanting to buy a house, but we couldn't. The mortgage companies didn't like our student loans. And it was something that we felt, oh, if only we could buy a house. A friend of mine, she's a retired real estate agent, said she bought her first home through owner carry. And so she said, look for signs for that. So Stuart was on a bike ride one day, saw, oh yeah, I know, we saw a sign. Yeah, did he see that sign? Yeah. And my dog Ren is with me here. Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, she's very opinionated on the subject here as well. The seller and the buyer, they work together to come up with a price that seems reasonable. You use what's called an amortization. Oh, I knew I was going to have trouble with this. Amortization calculator. Okay, the amortization calculator helps you to understand how much you're paying each month in regards to your principal, and then based off of your interest rate, the interest. So it's a weird system how that works, but basically you have your price that you're going to sell, your interest rate, and then how long that would be. So what we realized is that, with a lot of an owner carry sale, after 10 years, there's a balloon payment. So what that means is that you pay, a certain amount each month, but then once those 10 years are up, then you have to pay the rest in full, which can be a big chunk of change. And for us, getting a mortgage through a regular mortgage company wasn't really something that we were able to do because of our student loans. So basically, we talked with the seller more, and he really liked us. And so we came up with some ideas with how much money we would pay each month. And then you can also put in whether or not you want to have optional extra payments, because then you can increase it for, you're basically, the more you can spend right away with it all, the better you are, incredibly. And so basically what we did is we, added a certain amount each month, and that then it's going to be paid off in 12 and a half years rather than the 15 years that we had put into it, which is also pretty crazy, which is pretty awesome that we didn't have any help. Our families aren't able to help us. I love them dearly, but it's just, this is our situation. And we're really thankful that we came across the seller for this house. So as part of this process, it's really important to get a building inspector to come in to assess the property. There was a new roof that had been put on top of an old roof within the last 5 years, and all new windows, but the house is tilting on one side. The floors are desperately needing to be redone. So these were things that we thought of when we were talking to the seller about what the price was that we were interested in. You can also look up the history of the property. So there should be, in your city, a location that has all of what has been done to the property, who owns it, right? And so legitimately seeing if it's the actual seller selling you the property, if it's actually in their name, and also looking into your seller, right? Do you trust this person? Do they know people that you know? And that's kind of a big part of this, is that you are, trusting in that this person is being honest. And that can be the scary part of all of this. That's why bringing in, third party people can be really good. So a lawyer or real estate agent, this helps to back you up with this action. We do end up going through with the final paperwork through an escrow title company. And so this makes it official, this makes it legal and appropriate for, bringing one house ownership over to the next ownership with that. When we were discussing everything and looking at the house, the electricity stopped working in one of the rooms. Well, what had happened is animals had crawled into somewhere in the house and had chewed some lines. And, the seller brought in an electrician. And so, it was brought up that the seller would help pay for the electricity, which was incredible. And so that was an agreement that then became part of the paperwork. So paperwork, that is a major part to this, right? So what you're doing is you're going to be coming up with paperwork about the sale, and you're going to work with a title company and escrow. And so you do formal signatures, you do a formal passing of the title in this way. And so it's not that you're just kind of loosely like, hey, you can just pay me each month. This is something that you actually go in, sign for, and it's a legit thing. Since I'm in a few local guilds, some retired friends of mine helped me through this. One, my real estate friend, learning she had purchased her home through owner carry. We talked a little bit further about what that meant. Then another retired lawyer friend, she connected me up with somebody in my town that we could work with, who could write up the paperwork and do all of that if we felt like we needed to. We had discussed what the terms were that we came up with. He thought those were good. And so it felt really good to actually talk with somebody who knew how this works and to make sure that we were doing things appropriately. Highly recommend doing that if you're wanting to go down the owner carry route, because this is a huge financial situation. And so you got to make sure that you trust what's going on with that. So I ended up making my contract through AI, and I was able to, kind of set that up. And we kind of put in what the expectations were that each of us had. There's different aspects to that you want to focus on having, if there's no payment that happens, what happens through that. A lot of times then the home would go back to the seller if the buyer stops paying for the home. And so we put a little clause in that, we have to contact him first, and it's 60 days. And so that kind of goes into it there. And then also that we can't sell the house within 5 years too, right? So that, for him, the seller, it was important that he was able to, have just a monthly income, right? For him, that was more important than a big amount. And so owner carry is great for a seller if they don't want a huge payment. If they don't need to buy a new house with the sale of that house, by doing owner carry, you can spread it out over like 10 years, 12 years, that kind of thing. And so it becomes a monthly amount versus the huge lump sum. When you are first purchasing a home, typically you don't pay the first month. And this helps to give you a little buffer with then purchasing the home. Our seller also didn't require a deposit, which we're so incredibly thankful for, because that was then what we have for savings we could put towards, fixing of the house, because there's a lot of things that need to be done to fix this house up. So our escrow appointment was set up, and typically that is split between the buyer and the seller. And so the buyer shows up first, and you show them your IDs, and then you go to sign the paperwork. Well, we went to sign this paperwork, and they said we couldn't. It's like you go this far, and you're thinking, oh, I'm so excited to do this. And then when that happens, you're like, no. Well, it had to do with 3 letters, an E, a U, and a W. What do I mean by this? Well, Stuart has gone by Stuart his whole life. On one form, his birth certificate has Stewart. At some point, his mom was like, let's do Stuart because it's like art. And so some forms have this or that. Well, because of the real ID, he needed to use his birth certificate, which has the EWA form of Stewart. And so when the paperwork came along and they didn't have the correct spelling of his name, they said no. That even if it's the same name, because the spelling was off, we couldn't do it. So they had to go into their computer system, retype everything that had his name on it, which was a lot of things. Then they reprinted it, and then we could sign for it. And then it was a joke with the seller of like, who is this person? And, it became like this laughter that we had. And so we bought the house. We were so excited. We were so happy. We're so thankful that, this seller, came along because, he's now a really good friend of ours. And, we are able to, enjoy this house because we were able to buy our first house. This was huge. We just assumed it wasn't going to happen. And we're so thankful that owner carry is an option. Okay. So if you're in that boat where you feel that you can't buy a house, you never know who might have a few properties. And people with a few properties, they are looking at it as an income source. And so you might be able to say like, hey, I would be interested in doing a rent to own situation. And you could come up with this format with them because it's possible. And then you don't have to deal with all of these huge mortgage companies and the stress with that. Basically, we because of our jobs, we are able to pay more for a monthly amount. So this means we are able to have the house paid off in 12 and a half years, which is crazy. This is not always the case if you've got a 30-year mortgage. You're basically paying twice the amount of the house just in your interest. So if you're able to pay more each month, looking at the amortization, I can't even say it, the amortization calculator can be incredibly helpful because you can see what, amount of interest you're paying each month versus the principal. And with us, we're paying interest and principal at the same time. And so this is really helpful for us as well. So I highly, highly recommend it. It's wonderful. We have our first home. I've been recording this past year. And so we're going to do a bunch of videos of what we've done, of the different projects that we've worked on. We both have background as artists, as painters, and so we love color. And so we both have construction experience, and so it's fun to be able to share with you guys what we're doing with the house. So I'm going to leave you with a little sneak of what we've been doing, and stay tuned, and we will get going with this in the next videos. Within a week of buying the house, Stuart was on a bike ride, and he flew over his handlebars. He broke his collarbone and his elbow. So that meant he couldn't lift anything for, a long time. He was luckily right-handed, and it was his left side that he injured, but that meant the move was going to be insane. That meant we couldn't redo our flooring. That meant we couldn't do all this painting. I was closing down this huge studio as long as trying to take care of him, and also and pack our house and work on the new house and do electricity at the new house and do all this and that. And so my next video goes into the chaos of that and how something that was going to be this lovely experience ended up being pretty intense. But it's kind of fun to share this with you as well. we've been living in it for almost a year now, and we've done a lot of different things to it. I closed my studio. We're going to build a new one at some point. I'm currently in my studio here at the house. One of the bedrooms we turned into my studio. And so I look forward to sharing with you everything we've been doing, what our plans are with that. And, since we're creative people, we joke that we've been training our whole lives for this house, that this is something that we can, money permitting, kind of do what we can, with this. And so this is a slow journey, and I look forward to being able to share this with you. Okay, thanks. I'll see you later.